When I was in graduate school, they encouraged us to become a member of our both national and regional associations, so central. And they encouraged us to submit our papers. So the first paper I ever presented was at Central States in Milwaukee, as it turned out. And I lived in Chicago at the time. But so I had, done that. And then I continued to go to Central States. And I just had kind of like a little beginning thought I should get more involved in Central States. And coincidentally, someone called me up and said, would I consider being the executive director of Central States? So that was definitely more involved. And
just a little bit.
So I said, well, yeah, okay, I guess I will. And then I remember there was a big snowstorm, and I couldn't get out of Milwaukee to go to that conference. So I had to do.
You were the executive director?
No, it was they did like an interview
gotcha.
to see if I was good enough to be the executive director, and so I had to do a phone interview. I think I looked it up in the book. My convention year, I think, was 04.
Okay. Oh,
so it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
I was surprised when I saw that number in there too. It felt like it was longer ago, but I must have been executive director like maybe 97 to 2000. I think those were my dates for executive director. And then I started maybe like in 01 or 02 being on the executive committee and then doing the convention and then.
Can you talk a little bit about your convention, the convention that you planned?
Yeah, I love my convention. I thought it was really fun. I think I felt like we were very drab at Central States prior, and I had been going to other conventions I've gone to Eastern a lot because I write a lot with Rich West, and so I often met him there and we did panels together. And then I'd gone to a couple of Southern and Central joint conventions. And then I'd been to Western a little bit over time. I didn't go regularly. And Western, of course, is that work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
And I thought, why are we so stodgy here? So I had it in Cleveland. And I was trying to think of a theme. I'm not so great with the themes. And the only thing that I kept coming up with was Cleveland Rocks. I couldn't get it out of my mind. So my theme was Central Rocks. But then Therese Busnell made me change it to something a little bit more thoughtful. I think it was Central Rocks, the discipline. Hitting all the right notes. That was the actual theme. But I wanted it to be a big celebration. Of all of our accomplishments and, just trying to build energy. So we had the President's Party was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that was so fun.
That's neat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was very fun. And we had a DJ and people were dancing like crazy, and it was very well attended. We had over 200
How often do you get to go to a reception at the Rock and Roll?
I know. It was fun. And then we started the Hall of Fame that year to kind of get people recognized for everything that comes from Central States.
And who helped you start that? The Hall of Fame?
Who helped me?
Well, yeah, you said we.
Well, I'm speaking with the royal we. Well, I did have help. I had a local arrangements committee, and I had a student helping me with that. And then we were grappling a little bit with the perennial problem of Sunday attendance until we came up with the undergraduate, although someone told me they were going to change that.
Well, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, but because Sunday's panels are always so poorly attended. So that year, I did the Hall of Fame on Sunday. Still wasn't that great. The attendance wasn't that great. So I think it's wonderful that we do it at the lunch now. And we started the lunch again. I think in the distant past, Central used to have a lunch that you had to pay for extra. And it was not the business meeting. It was the lunch and a keynote, and then we had a free or included with your registration money. We had a breakfast, and that's where we did the business meeting. And that was not always very well attended. It was really early in the morning.
I'm not for a business meeting.
Yeah, so I moved the business meeting and the awards into a lunch that was included with the registration fee like we do now. So, and that, it was a big success. There were like 250 people at that and over 200 people at the party. And so I had a really good time at my conference. And also I thought we had a lot of great papers, not the least of which being. And, we were also grappling with the perennial problem of a nice balance between senior scholars and graduate students and undergraduates. We worked on developing that undergraduate conference around the time of my convention because I had been to Southern, I can't remember quite why, but I talked to them about how they do their undergraduate, and so we kind of imported some of their ideas to our convention. I also think, though, there's a lot of pride, and I think we recognize that we're not the oldest. Eastern is the oldest regional. We're the second oldest. But I do think we see ourselves as very central in all senses of that word. And I think rightly so, because all the great institutions that originated the study of communication were pretty much in the central region. So I think there's sort of this steadfast, earnest, prideful kind of personality that goes along with central states. And I also think there's a very comfortable, welcoming feeling to it. I think people are very cooperative at central states and very welcoming.